Well, hello and welcome to the class. This is History 11. The ticket number is 19069. I'm assuming that you're all in the right place. I don't think you could be here unless you were registered in the class, so I'm guessing this is the right place for all of you. And I'm also guessing that you all have been able to read the syllabus, which we posted on the Canvas site and is available to you there, and I trust that all of you know how to use Canvas and to get to the syllabus and that you've been able to read that. So you should be familiar with everything that you need to know for the class. I'm going to spend a little time today. I'm not going to go for the full time today, but I'm going to spend a little bit of time just reviewing that in case there's anything that you need to have me clarify and you want to hear about. The syllabus does have on it the name of the textbook, and you do need to buy the textbook. This is a requirement of the class. You have to buy the textbook. I know sometimes students try to save money or whatever by not buying the textbook, but you just have to bite the bullet and buy the textbook. And the name of the textbook is on the syllabus. The version that I have on the syllabus is the latest version available from the publisher that the college was using in the bookstore when we were still meeting online, meeting on campus. So you can get the details of that book, the ISBN number and so forth, and you can order it online. I don't know if you can go to the bookstore on the campus or not. I don't even know if the bookstore is open. I haven't been to the campus since the closed down. And I don't know if the bookstore is open and if you could go there and buy it, or you could buy it from the bookstore online, or you could buy it from the publisher online. So there are a lot of ways to get the textbook, and you can get other versions of the textbook. There's the particular edition that's available at the bookstore, and that is the one officially adopted by the department for this class. But there are other editions of that book. There are other versions of it. There's older versions that are still the same. Nothing has really changed in history since the first edition. This is now the 6th edition. You can buy an earlier edition. You can buy a used edition. There's all kinds of ways that you, as a modern student, know how to buy a book. The only rules are you do have to buy the book. You will need to be familiar with the book, and you will need to be able to check it in order to take the quizzes and so forth. So you'll have to buy the book. You do have to get Volume 1. That covers the years that we cover in this class in History 11. Volume 2 covers History 12, so be sure you get Volume 1. And you need to get the book by Eric Foner. The title is Give Me Liberty. As long as you get that, it doesn't matter what edition you get, what year, new. There are single versions of it. There's another version of it that's available, but just buy the book. And you need to get started on that right away, because we're going to have quizzes here in this week and next week that we'll be drawing from the textbook. So you'll need to get the book to be able to take those quizzes. So you should get on that right away and be ready to go ahead with the quizzes starting this week. So we only have 7 weeks for this class, 8 counting the finals, and so things move quickly, and you have to move quickly too. So be sure you get the textbook, and whichever one you get is fine. Just be sure you get Eric Foner, Volume 1, Give Me Liberty. As I said, we're going to be having quizzes. Each week, we're going to be posting 4 lectures. Now, I'll tell you just a little bit about myself here, because this may be an issue for you. I've actually been teaching at Harbor College since 1975, and I think that at this moment I am, depending on whether Professor Miller still comes around or not, I am the oldest member of the department, and I'm also the longest serving. So I've been there for a long time. but I've never done an online class. Most of my colleagues have, as part of their load, even back in the day before the virus came. They would teach a class online just as part of their regular load. I never did. So I'm not familiar with online teaching. I've never taught a class of this schedule. I've never taught one of the short classes, the 8-week classes. I've never done that. So this is all new for me, even though I'm a very senior member, but I don't, it's a new experience. And I have to confess that I am not very skilled in modern technology. You know, I'm an elderly man, and like other elderly men, I don't know much about technology. I have a IT expert who is going to be running the technology for the class. I don't handle any of the technology. The IT technician handles everything. My son. And so if there's glitches, if there's problems, he's the one who'll have to take care of it. And I just ask for your patience and understanding and realization that this is something new, and it's the first time I've ever done this, so don't be surprised if I screw up in some way, and just go with me, and we'll work things out, and we'll do it in a way that doesn't cause you any disadvantage. I'm very conscious. I made some mistakes first semester or last spring. I was teaching on campus until mid-March, when the shutdown came, and then had to suddenly start going online. And I made a number of mistakes and screwed some things up, but I got everything fixed in a way that did not harm the students. I mean, I'm very concerned that you not be disadvantaged because of a mistake that I make because of my inexperience or lack of knowledge of what's going on. Now, this is going to be kind of tough because we're going to have 4 lectures per week. Each week there will be 4 lectures. Each will last pretty close to an hour. I try to keep the time right on an hour every lecture. And you'll need to watch those lectures. I mean, that's just the course. You have to buy the textbook, you have to read the textbook, you have to study the textbook, you have to go to the lectures. This is college. This is a college class, and it's under conditions that are not what we were used to, at least, and what I had never used to. Some people, many of you may have taken other online classes, so you're kind of familiar with the procedures, but we're in a totally, for me at least, a totally new situation, but it's still a college class, and it's still the same thing. You still have to read the textbook, you have to study the textbook, you have to come to the lectures, you have to attend the lectures, and you should take notes on the lectures, you should study the notes. And I mean, that's what it is. But my feeling is, and what I try to make sure that it becomes, is that if you'll do that, if you'll study, if you'll spend some time on the book, if you'll spend some time listening to the lectures and taking notes on the lectures, you can do well. It's not that hard. I'm not one for gimmicks. I'm not one for trick questions. I'm not one for trying to see if I can fool the students into doing something and then I got them and they aren't ready for that question. I mean, there's no tricks, there's no gimmicks in this class. If you do the work, if you listen, you'll do well. It's not that hard. So it just takes a little bit of effort on your part, but if you put the effort in, you can get a good grade in this class. So you come to the lectures, you'll have to attend the 4 lectures each week. There is such a thing that I don't understand, and it's called synchronous teaching, where you have to be at the lecture when I'm lecturing, that you have to come at a certain time and be there, like on Zoom or whatever, and attend the lecture as I'm giving it. But I don't understand that, and I don't use that. That's not my choice. I've set the class up so that we record the lectures and then post them through Canvas, and they're available for you all week. They're available for you from 8 o'clock Monday morning until the following Sunday at midnight. And any time during that week, you can tune in to each lecture and watch it and listen to it and take notes and then study those notes. So you have your choice of when you want to come to the lecture. You just have to do it 4 times, 4 hours per week. I've had some problems last semester. One of the things I screwed up on was that I didn't realize that students didn't necessarily have to come to the lecture, and there were students who were trying to somehow skip through the class without really doing what was assigned, and they weren't coming to class. So what I've done is, at the end of every lecture, unless I forget, which I have done a couple of times, but at the end of each lecture, I'll ask you a very simple question based on the lecture. And they're very simple questions. They can be answered with a couple of words or a short sentence, a sentence or two. And after the lecture, then you can go online through Canvas and write a short, it's almost not right to call it an essay because it's just like a couple of words or whatever, but just write a few things to indicate that you were in fact at the lecture, that you heard it, and that you, if you've been there, you'll know it. There's no trick questions. It's just real simple. It's real obvious from the lecture itself. So you'll have to submit that little brief statement to me, and then I will give you a grade on that. The grades will be, if you don't do it, if you just don't even send it in, then you'll get a 0. If you send in an answer but it's very poor, you'll get 1 point. If you send in an answer that's, sort of all right, but not quite there, it's 2 points. But if you get just a simple correct answer, and it's real easy to get a correct answer, I've been doing this for the first part of the semester with the class that has been running since August, and it's not hard. Most students just get a correct answer, and then you get 3 points. There are going to be a total of 13 lectures. It's a little bit complicated. There are 7 weeks of this semester other than the finals. It's an 8-week semester, but that includes 1 week for finals. So there's 7 weeks. One of the weeks is Thanksgiving, and so for that I'm going to have just, instead of 4 lectures, I'll just be 2. So that means a total of 26 lectures, 6 weeks with 4 each, and then 1 week with just 2. So there are 26 lectures, and that'll be a total of 78 points then. 3 points that are possible. You can get 78 points on for the essays or the lecture questions. But you'll just need to do that, and just it only takes you a couple minutes after the lecture to answer the question. In addition, I will be giving you quizzes, multiple choice quizzes. There will be 1 quiz for each set of 2 lectures. So that's a total of 13 quizzes, 6 weeks and then a half. So there's 26 lectures, or 26 lectures, but 13 quizzes. These are 10-question multiple choice quizzes. They are derived from the textbook. The questions themselves come from the textbook, so that's why you really need to read the textbook, because I take the questions out of the textbook, but I put into the question information from the lecture. So, sometimes students ask, which is the quiz is based on? Are they based on the book or the lecture? And the answer is both. But there will be 10 questions. And during the week then, during that same time period from 8 a.m. till midnight of Sunday, you'll need to take the 2 quizzes that we posted for that week. And there are a total of 13 quizzes then, each with 10 points. At the end of the semester, I will drop your lowest quiz score. If you miss one, that's by definition your lowest. But if you just do poorly on one quiz, it won't hurt you. I'll drop that quiz. That leaves 12 quizzes that will be scored each 10 points, and that's another 120 points. So that's how your grade is shaping up. And the quizzes are 10 questions. You'll answer them through Canvas, and you'll have 10 minutes. The Canvas is set so that you must do the quiz in 10 minutes. My experience is that that's never a problem for students. Many students finish in 5-6 minutes or so forth. So you'll have 10 minutes to do each quiz, and there'll be 2 per week. And then at the end of the semester, I will give you a final exam that will have 60 multiple choice questions. Those 60 questions will be based on the material from the class. There aren't going to be any questions there of material that we didn't cover in class or that is unfamiliar to you. Some of those 60 questions may be very similar to the quiz questions. Some may be even identical to the quiz questions, but some of them are modified a little bit. In order to make up those 60 questions, I kind of tweak the quizzes. But it's the same kind of question, it's the same multiple choice questions that you've had on the quizzes all during the semester. So the final is very familiar work for you, and you'll take that. That's another 60 points. So that's what the 78 points for the essays, the 120 points for the quizzes, and the 60 points for the final. That's your grade. And I put those somewhat on a curve. I don't follow an absolutely rigid curve, because as I think I explained on the syllabus, if I used a curve exactly the way the mathematicians say you're supposed to do it, I'd have to give the same number of A's and F's, and I don't generally like to do that. I do give F's, but almost all of the F's that I give are because students don't take care of their registration in the class. They stay in the class, they stay on the roster, and then they stop coming, they don't take the final, and so they're just not there. So then they end up getting an F. You can guard against that if you yourself look carefully at the schedule, and if you're planning not to finish the class, you drop it before the end of the semester. Now, I will exclude you if you start missing classes. The college requires that of me, and the reason the college requires that of me is because the state requires that of the college. So this is something over which I have no control. If you miss 3 classes, looking at those little lecture questions, if I see that you've missed 3 classes, I will have to drop you, and that's not something that I do because I want to. I do it because the college requires it. The college, and as a matter of fact, the college is under a lot of pressure from the state to verify that the students are taking the class, because the money we get from the state is based on the number of students that we have. So, and the college has to verify this. So it's a big deal, and I did screw that up. That was one of the things I screwed up last semester, and nobody said anything to me about it. So I guess maybe that nobody's looking at these things. Maybe the state isn't monitoring this closely because of the circumstances under which we're operating. But theoretically, the college did break some rules, my fault, and expose itself to some serious financial pressures from the state. And I don't know what happened, and that's beyond me. I just do this stuff and hope that nobody notices, and nobody did notice, or nobody said anything. So, but I know that I did break the rules last semester, so I have to be careful about that, and I have to be very careful. So I will have to be monitoring closely to see whether you're actually attending the class, and then verifying that you do so by keeping you on the roster. Now, as I said, this is a new experience for me, this business of teaching online, and just between you and me, I'll confess that I really don't care for it. I really do miss interaction with students. I mean, I've been teaching for a long time. I told you I was teaching at Harvard College since 1975. I started teaching as a graduate student in 1964, so I've been teaching for a very long time. And you know, if you're doing the math, you can figure out that I started teaching when I was 2 years old. Um, um, and I love to go to class. I mean, I retired, you know, what, 16 years ago. And I'm teaching now strictly as a retired professor. So I'm only part-time. I really don't participate in any college decisions or anything. I'm only a part-timer as a retiree. But I love it. I love teaching, and I love going to class, and I love interacting with students. So I really miss it. It's kind of hard for me. I want to assure you that you can communicate with me. I really want students to communicate with me. I look forward to that. You can use the email. As I explained on the syllabus, I don't use the college email system. It's way too complicated for me to understand. I just use my own personal email. The email address is on the syllabus. You're welcome to send me an email at any time, and I will get it almost immediately. There have been semesters where I've taken trips. I've done things during the semester. I've missed class. I've gone out of town for one reason or another. I'm not going anywhere this semester. I'm not going anywhere any day. I'll be here every day, all day. I never leave the house. So I'll get your email and I'll answer it, and I'm happy to do that. I've also scheduled office hours where you can communicate with me via Zoom. You can go, the Zoom link is there on Canvas. I'll be in my office every Monday at 10 a.m. and then again at 7 p.m. to accommodate those of you who are maybe only available in the evening. And then the same on Wednesday. So there'll be 4 office hours per week, Monday and Wednesday, at 10 and at 7, and I'll be available. I'll sit there at the computer with the Zoom link on, and I would love to have you come and ask questions and talk and chat. And you're welcome to come at any time. You can come and ask any questions that you want. You can argue with me about anything. If you disagree with something, you're welcome to come in and tell me why you think I'm wrong. I love that. Or you can just come and sit and listen if there's anybody else. You can just hear what's going on. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to. But you're all welcome to come to the office hours and interact, and that way I can help you, because I'm liable to make mistakes, and I want to know about it, because I want to fix it and I want to correct it. So you can use email to tell me this is wrong. Last semester we we screwed up. We got the wrong lecture on the Canvas, and so we had to fix that. But we want to do that, and we're very willing to listen to any emails and respond accordingly. So don't hesitate to take advantage of that. So I'm basically finished with what I was going to do today. There'll be another lecture. There'll be the first of the regular lectures coming up at your discretion. It's going to be posted. You can look at it as you wish, and you're welcome to get in touch with me any way you want. So I look forward to a very productive semester with all of you.